I saw some other videos on YouTube showing foundations made from a threaded bar and 100mm square steel plates. There are some great video tutorials I followed, but unfortunately Building Control weren't happy with them and wanted something more substantial, so I upgraded to some additional 250mm square steel plates, 10mm thick, to be set into the concrete 50mm from the lower end of the threaded bar, and used A4 grade stainless steel nuts to lock them in place, while still keeping the square 100mm by 10mm plates halfway up the threaded bar. I also used the same square 100mm by 10mm plates for the supports that the timber beams would sit on, but I noticed an issue with this design that was used in some other videos for building garden rooms. The problem was that the plates had a square hole and were being threaded onto a round bar, which means that the load transfer from the nuts to the plate wasn't very effective or good. I then added some 50mm by 5mm galvanised steel washers, which spread the load better and actually halved the force transferring through the steel nuts per square centimetre, meaning that they could take twice as much load with just that simple design change. The plates also aren't galvanised, so they would rust when exposed for a long period to the moist outdoor air, so I painted them with bitumen paint to reduce this and help prevent them corroding. Two very quick and simple design changes that may substantially increase the life of the foundations. The 250mm steel plates came pre-drilled, but the hole wasn't big enough for the threaded bars, so I drilled them out with a DeWalt step drill bit, which worked pretty well. I first tried a cobalt bit, but it literally took me half an hour to drill one plate, but with the step bit it took a couple of minutes. The final foundation structure consists of a 1m M24 galvanised threaded bar with a 250mm by 10mm steel plate positioned 50mm from the lower end of the bar and locked in place with two A4 grade steel nuts either side. There is then a 100mm by 10mm steel plate in the middle of the bar, also locked in place by two nuts either side. Finally, the upper quarter of the threaded bar has another 100mm by 10mm steel plate painted with bitumen paint that the timber floor beams will sit on top of. This has two nuts on the lower side of it, with a 50 by 5mm galvanised M24 washer on top of those nuts to spread the load from the plate to the nuts. This double nut assembly is there because the floor plates will all need to be adjusted so that they are level with each other, and the second nut is used as a lock nut to stop them moving gradually over time. Once these foundations have been installed and the cement is poured, you will drill holes through the timber beams so that they can slot onto the threaded bars and sit on the steel plates. Finally, you will add another locking nut on top and tighten it down so that everything is solid and nothing can move. When you're installing your steel foundation assemblies into the holes, the steel bars shouldn't actually be touching the string lines, because this will move the string, and when several bars are touching, it will mean the string is no longer actually showing you a straight line, and your foundations will get messed up. You want the bars just a fraction of a millimetre off the line, and always to the same side of the lines, and check they're vertical with a magnetic level stuck to the threaded bar.